Hello everyone! أهلا وسهلا بطلاب الصف الخامس الابتدائي with the science lessons تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. Today we're gonna make a revision on unit number 2 and unit number 3. So let's begin our revision together. Okay. So let's start now with the first question. First question in unit number 2. Complete the following. Which is considered as a universal common solvent. كان أنهي حاجة اللي تعتبر common solvent. Common solvent يعني بنستخدمها كتير قوي. كان في substance معين which is the water. Water is the most common solvent that we use. طب يا ترى ليه؟ مين فاكر؟ Because the water thousands of substances are dissolved in it. So we called it as a common solvent. Okay, now question number 2. Mixtures can be formed by, we have 3 methods in here. So we're gonna say shaking, stirring, and grinding. Okay, so with these 3 methods that we have to form a mixture, in the formation of the mixtures, shaking, stirring, and grinding. Okay, let's take another question. Mixing a small amount of sand with water can be separated by, عندنا sand وwater عملنا لهم formation by shaking. ازاي بقى نعمل separation ليهم؟ Sand and water, the sand is insoluble substance. So which method that we use to separate the insoluble substance from the solvent? Yes, the filtration process. طيب طبعا قبل ما ندخل على الكويشنز اللي بعد كده كان عندنا 4 methods of separation: filtration process, evaporation process, separating funnel, and magnetic attraction. ولازم نخلي بالنا ونفرق ما بين كل methods and ايه هي الكومبوننتس اللي بتقدر تعمل لها separation. اوكي طيب تعالوا دلوقتي ناخد another question which is right or wrong. Number 1. The components of the mixture don't react together. Yes, they don't react together, and then so we can separate it easily. بنقدر ان احنا نعمل separate easily للمixture because they don't react together. يبقى السنتنس دي true. طيب another question. Pure substances are made up of only one type of identical particles. Pure substance, one type? Yes, it's true. لكن كان إيه هي الحاجة اللي consists of more than one type of identical particles? The mixtures. يبقى عندنا substance that consists of only one type of identical particles, pure substance. لكن لو substance that consists of more than one type of particles, for sure the mixture. طيب, okay, now let's take another question which is choose the correct answer. Number 1, to form a salty solution. Salty solution, it means salt and water. We add salt to water with, ازاي بنقدر نعمل formation للsolid والliquid. Salt water يعني solid liquid mixture. We can form it by melting, evaporation, stirring, or A and B. For sure stirring. لأن احنا عندنا هنا melting, no, it's not a method to form a mixture. Evaporation, it's a method to separate a mixture. So let us say it's the correct answer, which is the stirring. تمام. Now, another question, which is correct the underlined word. By increasing the quantity of the solvent, the solubility decreases? No, the solubility increases. طب تعالوا دلوقتي نفتكر سوا مع بعض كانت ايه الفاكتورز that affect the solubility process? We have 4 factors. Number 1, the quantity of solvents. As the quantity of solvent increase, the solubility speed increase. طب كان عندنا ايه تاني؟ The stirring. As by stirring, the solubility speed increase. What else? By heating. Heating, so by increasing, as we increase the temperature, the solubility speed increase. And also the kind of solute affect the solubility process. يبقى عندنا هنا بيقول لو عملنا increase لل quantity of solvent إيه اللي هيحصل لل solubility؟ Also increase. Now, write the scientific term. We have a sentence and we want to describe what is it. A liquid mixture in which the solute breaks down into its most basic particles that spread throughout the solvent. كان عندنا special type of mixture في solute و solvent in which the solute dissolves in the solvent كان بيكون ايه؟ It form a solution. يبقى عندنا هنا a liquid mixture in which the solute breaks down into its most basic particles that spread throughout the solvent. It's the solution. اوكي تمام. تعالوا كده دلوقتي نفتكر كنا بنستخدم solute plus solvent it form solution by solubility process. كان يعني ايه solute؟ Solute it means the solid substance that dissolves in the solvent like the salt or sugar. طيب كان يعني ايه solvent؟ Solvent is the substance, it's a liquid substance that in which the solute dissolves اللي فيها الsolid بيدوب فيها. Okay, such as is a solvent. ناخد question تاني. Now look at the figure. Then answer. We have in here two beakers. في beaker عامل لها flame, so it's on heating. The temperature increases in beaker B, while beaker A, nothing. Both of them have the same quantity of liquid, and both of them we add the same quantity of the solute, which is the sugar. طيب بعد لو حسبنا التايم بتاع كل واحدة فيهم هنلاقي إن أنهي واحدة هيحصل dissolve أو soluble للشوجر أسرع. Sugar takes a shorter time to dissolve in beaker B. Why? ليه في beaker B هنا حصل dissolve للشوجر faster than beaker A؟ فكر معايا لسه قايلينها من شوية. إيه اللي بيأثر على solubility؟ Heating or the temperature. So why? Because by increasing the temperature or by heating, the speed of the solubility increases. So in beaker B, the solubility speed increases in it than the other one. تمام? Okay. Now another question. Also look at the figure and then answer. How do the solid materials mix? عندنا هنا salt و black pepper. How can we mix it? نعمله mix ازاي؟ عندنا solid و solid. So we can mix it by shaking or grinding. We can mix it by shaking or grinding. تمام. طيب. Now, what happens if? What happens if heating salty water for a long time? ايه اللي هيحصل؟ Heating يعني evaporation هيحصل للووتر. طب ايه اللي هيحصل لو حصل evaporation للووتر؟ نفكر كده معانا سوا. salty water يعني عندنا salt و water. والsalt دي تعتبر soluble substance in the water. طب لو عملنا دلوقتي heating لفترة طويلة قوي هيحصل الووتر it will be evaporated. والsalt it will remain. So a separation occur. قدرنا نفصل the water from the salt. So in here the answer ايه اللي هيحصل؟ The water will evaporate خلاص and then the salt will precipitate. يعني ايه precipitate؟ يعني it will remains in the container. Okay يبقى عندنا again heating salty water for a long time the water will evaporate and the salt will precipitate. Give reason for. The filtration process is used to separate sand from sugar solution. ليه الفلتريشن بروسيس هي اللي بنستخدمها to separate the sand from the sugar solution؟ هنفكر ازاي؟ أول حاجة نفكر فيها الفلتريشن دي بنستخدمها it's used to separate A from A. Okay? Soluble ولا insoluble substances. طب وهنا الساند is insoluble substance. يبقى filtration it's used to separate the sand from the sugar solution because the filtration process is used to separate mixtures of insoluble solid materials and water. Insoluble اللي هو الساند والwater which is the solvent. اوكي تمام. والايفابوريشن بروسيس افتكرناها والفلتريشن بروسيس افتكرناها. طيب اخر اتنين عندنا السيبريشن methods that we have which are the separating funnel and the magnetic attraction. طيب separating funnels كانت عبارة عن ايه؟ Separating funnel it's a method that we use to separate the immiscible liquid mixtures such as oil and water that they don't mix together. طيب while the magnetic attraction we use it to separate magnetic material from the mixture. Magnetic material طب يا ترى زي ايه؟ زي الساند and the iron fillings. اوكي تمام. يبقى احنا كده we have revisioned عملنا revision we have revised all the separation methods. طب افتكرنا مع بعض. طيب تعالوا دلوقتي خلصنا questions about lesson or unit 2. So let's begin with the questions on unit number 3. Questions on unit number 3. Number 1. Complete the following. The relationship between fungi and organisms' dead bodies is an example of. طب تعالوا كده الأول نقول كان إيه هي types of relationship of the food relationship. كان عندنا predation, symbiosis and saprophytism. طب هنا relation ما بين الفungi and the organisms' dead body. كانت إيه relation دي؟ Not predation and not one from the symbiosis. It's the saprophytism. So in here, it's an example of the saprophytism relationship. Now, another complete. The interaction between a cat and a rat is considered as an example of which relationship? Cat and rat. We know that the cat preys a rat, so it's a type or an example of the predation relationship. Okay? طبعا نفتكر سوا مع بعض يعني ايه predation. Predation it's a type of food relationship between two living organisms in which one of them devoured the other one. زي مثلا هنا the cat preys a rat. Cat it's the predator and a rat it's the prey. وعارفين ان ال predation there is predation in animal and predation in plant and for sure predation is less common in the plant. وعندنا two examples of the predation in plants which are called insectivorous plants or insectivorous organisms زي ايه such as the Drosera and Dionaea. طيب تعالوا دلوقتي نكمل another question. Right or wrong? Some human activities lead to the disturbance of the environment. يعني يقدر ال activities of the man تقدر ان هي تعمل disturbance لل environmental balance. Yes. يبقى هنا السنتنس دي it's true sentence. Such as ايه activities اللي المان بيقدر يعملها that causes or leads to a disturbance to the environment such as cutting down trees, burning forests, eroding the soil and polluting the environment. Okay, another question. Choose the correct answer. The process of photosynthesis is done by which living organism? Producers, parasites or decomposers? Which one? طب تعالوا كده نفكر سوا. الphotosynthesis process is done by ايه؟ by plant. طب الplant it's called autotrophic organism or producer. So in here we're gonna choose the first one which is the producer. Another choose which is the desert is a which one of the ecosystem? The desert is a small ecosystem, medium, large or very large. طب تعالوا كده نفتكر the classification of the ecosystem. Classification of the ecosystems according to their sizes are classified into 3 types. Small, large and very large. Small ecosystem such as the water pond, an area of land. طب large such as the ocean, desert and forest. And the very large such as the universe. يبقى عندنا هنا the desert is an example of the large ecosystem. Now look at the figure and then answer. Look at this figure. It's a frog. So the frog changes its own color to ليه بيعمل changing its own color؟ بيغير لونه، بيعمل camouflage. طب ليه بيعمل كده؟ to hide from its enemies. عندنا two ways أو two methods of self-defense the prays do، زي مثلا camouflage، زي عندنا هنا الفروج تقدر انها تعمل ايه؟ change its own color، frog أو chameleon. ليه؟ to hide from its enemies. وعندنا كمان the mimicry. يعني ايه mimicry؟ A mimicry it's a phenomenon that done by some living organisms that's a harmless living organism imitate another harmful one. طب ليه الهارملس بيعمل كأنه harmful to frighten their enemies؟ اوكي؟ طيب احنا كده افتكرنا سوا the methods of self-defense. طيب تعالوا نكمل. Now match the following: prey, insectivorous plants, external parasites and saprophytes. In the other one, bread mold fungus, deer, drosera and mosquitoes. طب تعالوا كده نفكر بالراحة. prey ايه من هنا يعتبر prey؟ bread mold fungus? No, it's not prey, it's saprophytism. It's one of the saprophytic organisms. طيب deer? Yes, deer is a prey. احنا عارفين ان اللاين هو predator والdeer it's a prey in which the lion preys a deer. So the prey it's the deer. طيب the insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants it means the plants that eat insects to get their required elements to make protein. طيب ايه هنا example of the insectivorous plants such as the drosera. Okay. طيب now the external parasitism. External parasitism يعني ايه؟ It's a parasite that lives externally on the host's body. طيب زي ايه هنا from the examples that we have? It's not bread mold fungus قلنا ان هي saprophytes. طب والmosquitoes? Yes. So the external parasitism like the mosquitoes and the saprophytes like the bread mold fungus. وعارفين ان the examples of the saprophytes like bread mold fungus, like the mushroom fungus and the penicillium fungus. وعارفين ان saprophytic organisms such as the fungi and bacteria. Okay, now another question. Correct the underlined word. Plants are consumer organisms. لسه قايلين plants تعتبر ايه؟ بنقول عليها حاجتين. بنقول عليها autotrophic or producer. ليه تعتبر plants autotrophic or producer؟ Because they make its own food by themselves. بيقدروا يعملوا الفود بتاعهم بنفسهم. So the plant is an autotrophic or a producer because it makes its own food by itself. طب يلا نكمل. What is meant by environmental balance؟ يا ترى يعني ايه environmental balance؟ Environmental balance it's the balance. It's the balance among the components of the ecosystem. كان ايه هي components of the ecosystem؟ Living organisms such as plants and animals and non-living things such as rocks, air, water and soil. Okay, تمام يبقى احنا كده دلوقتي افتكرنا يعني ايه environmental balance. Now another question. What happens if man continues cutting forest trees؟ لو احنا the man or the human كمل في ان هو يفضل يعمل cutting down the trees، ايه اللي هيحصل؟ For sure it will cause imbalance for the environment. So it will cause environmental imbalance and it will cause a disturbance. طيب, let's complete. Another question. Give reason for. Give reason for the tapeworm is a parasite. ليه التابورم بنقول عليها parasite؟ طيب نعم نفكر كده سوا. التابورم it's a type of the internal parasitism. Internal parasitism, it's a parasite in which they live internally inside the host's body and they feed by sharing the host's digested food and also feed on its cells, the host cells and tissues. يبقى عندنا هنا ليه التابورم تعتبر parasite؟ Because it feeds by sharing the host's food and also it harms the host. لأن احنا عارفين إن البارازيتيزم it's a type food relationship in which one gets benefits which is called the parasite and the other one is harmed اللي هو الهوست. اوكي يبقى احنا كده عرفنا هنا ليه التابورم تعتبر parasite. Another give reason. Although the lion is carnivorous, the plant is its main food. ليه هو carnivores ورغم كده هو بيعتمد على البلانت؟ البلانت تعتبر هي المين فود. نفكر سوا. كان عندنا في بداية الليسون عرفنا ان البلانتس طبعا هي autotrophic او producer. وعندنا the plants divided into two types. Plants that depend on animals that depends on plants directly اسمهم herbivores, and animals that depends on plants indirectly and they are called the carnivores. يبقى هي ليه هنا يعتبر اللاين رغم ان هو carnivores the plant is its main food because the lion feeds on the animals which feeds on plants. Okay, lion for example feeds on the deer and the deer feeds on the plants, so it depends on the plants indirectly. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's take another question. Answer the following. How can man benefit from the saprophytic organisms in the industries? ازاي بنقدر نستفيد من السابروفيتيك organisms في الindustries؟ بنقدر نستخدم some type of saprophytic organisms in many industries such as food industry in making cheese, bread, yogurt, and also the drug industry which is medicine in making antibiotics, and the last one in leather tanning industry. يبقى عندنا هنا بنستخدم saprophytic organisms in food industry, in the drugs industry, in making antibiotic which is the medicine, and also in leather tanning industry. Okay, وبكده نكون عملنا revision. خلصنا questions on unit number 3. عملنا قبل كده revision on unit number 2. عملنا questions، عرفنا الأسئلة بتيجي ازاي on this unit. عملنا also questions, different questions on unit 3. عرفنا ازاي الquestions بتيجي ونفكر ازاي لما تيجي سؤال ولما يجي سؤال. Okay, and by that we have finished all our questions for today for unit number 2 and unit number 3. وبكده نكون عملنا revision for all the units that you have in your curriculum in this term. Okay, we finished. Thank you for your listening and goodbye.